We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1, mark.
Welcome to Market Makers, everyone. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. What a fun week. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. If you've been watching the channel over the last, not days, not weeks, but months, we gave you the topping range for the S&P, but not only that, we gave you the exact time frame, a July top. Did anybody else do that for you on YouTube?
Nice.
Guys, before PAL, I released a special video for Market Makers members on our Discord, on the YouTube site, for members only, and on our website. I said how I would trade the S&P. So before PAL, we had the S&P back beneath our target zone. With PAL, we went right back into the resistance zone, setting up a trade. And if you took this trade, you're a nice 200 points in profit. If you guys want to join us, check out marketmakers.trade. You can join through our website. You can join through YouTube with the join button. Try it out, see if you like it, get all of our TA, all of our videos, members exclusive benefits. It's fantastic. And if you do come to the Discord, I really think you'll love the community. My education videos are all there as well on the YouTube membership, on the website, on the Discord. Let's talk about what we got going on. Let's click through some charts here. Fear and greed. Remember, it was just recently we were in extreme greed, like recently as in like a week ago or a few days ago even, we were at 77. Now we are at 50. And if you look at the Shiller PE, we backed off on the Shiller PE. We were about to hit 39. We just came back down to 38. So we got to figure out, now that we got the top for the summer rally, now that we got the summer drop starting, what's next? And maybe you feel like you missed out. Maybe you didn't put a trade on. Maybe you didn't want to trade it. You're just waiting for the long. I want to try to nail the drop at this point, guys. So I want to show you exactly where I think this is going. I'm going to break it down in the charts for you. And I'm really happy, by the way. I read the comments. I can't reply to all of them every single time. But follow me on X at Market Canary. But I'm really happy to see so many people are making money this year. I think 2025, from a TA perspective, has been my best year since 2021, 2022. It's been fantastic the way everything's tracking. If you look at the VIX right now, we got up to, this is VIX futures, by the way, 19,850 is where we closed at. We got all the way up to just above 20. Look, this could come up to 27, 25, somewhere in this range. If the retracement proceeds deeper, we're going to look at this on the charts, of course. One of the things I just covered, ironically, was a triple top pattern in my education series. And if you can see what happened here, and I was using this as confluence for the markets as well, this is the Dow futures, okay? Triple tops. How do they normally play out? Top one, top two, top three. You break through on the fourth attempt, okay? That's when you break through. Triple top, and what happened? The Dow formed a beautiful double top, and it broke down. Now, I'm looking for the Dow futures to come down about 7.5%, just like it did in 2024. If we look at this from a fractal perspective, you're going to see this across the indices, guys. I'm going to show you the support. That's 41,967. Let's call it 42K. That is my Dow target, 7.38% retracement, very similar to what we did in 2024 after the July top. What about the RSP? We talked about the equal weight. This is for the S&P, right? Equal weight. If you look at this, you didn't come up for a new all-time high, even though the S&P did, the S&P futures. If you look at this, was November 2024 was your top, and then once again, you topped and dropped. And where did you fall to? You fell right to fractal support, bounced right off of it, okay? We're going to go over the price movements here on the actual indices. From a zoomed out perspective, the summer rally, as we've been predicting all year long, as you guys know, we got right up to target, 64.36, 65.22. We got all the way up to 64.68, and then we got a reversal and we fell right to fractal support. I think that fractal support's temporary. We're going to go over that in the smaller time frames. But ultimately, guys, I'm looking for a 382 retracement. I'm looking for price to come down 5,800, 5,850. That's not a deep retracement. I know a lot of the guys you're watching right now on YouTube, I just got blasted over the weekend with the pop-ups. The guys that were calling this rally the whole way up, a bear market bounce, dead cat bounce, don't buy it. They missed out on a 30-year, once-in-a-generation rally, third strongest turnaround rally in stock market history. And now those same guys are telling you, this is it. This is what we were talking about. It's all going to shit. It's not. The top is not in yet. This is the summer rally, summer top, summer retracement. That's where we are in the market cycle, guys. Let's click through some more charts. Simplified version, what's this going to look like? I'm looking for the S&P to come down to the 382, okay? So 5,800, 5,850. Once again, look at your support structures that you're lining up with. You're lining up with that fractal low right there, just underneath the 382. So that's my reversal zone for you guys that want to look at longs. This is what I'm looking at for the S&P to come down here. Notice that retracement level, 10.2%. Right? 10.2%, because the S&P the last 2 years in a row did what? It did a 10.5% retracement in 24 after a July top, and then it did an 11% retracement in 2023. What we don't know is, will this be a fast retracement or a slow retracement? Let me find my larger chart here. Here's my ES chart. Here's what I'm talking about, right? So if you look at 2023, this took 3 months to play out for 11%. If you look at 2024, after your July top, this took 30 days. 30 days, you went down 10.5%. So 3 months to drop 11%, 30 days to drop 10.5%. What do we consider the terrified tariff sell-off? Is this an exogenous event? Because this was a 2-month long time frame to drop. I'm thinking it's going to be a short drop, okay? Meaning I'm thinking we should be bottoming maybe late August, maybe into September. That's what I'm thinking, but alternation is what I like to find. But because of the tariff scare, it screwed up the alternation. We had a long drop, short drop, medium drop, because it's 2 months, not 1 month, not 3 months. So I don't know what we're going to get here as far as time. I don't know if it's going to be a 1 month, 30-day turnaround, or if it's going to be 2 months, or if it's going to be 3 months. We'll know as it develops, though, right? Because you got to look at the wave patterns as it develops. So that's the ultimate goal here, a 10% retracement. Nothing crazy, not 30%. Not 50%. This isn't sending gold to 2,000. You're going to drop, and a wall of money will come in from Wall Street, because just like most of the people that watch YouTube, they all missed the rally. That wall of money will come back into the market. Before Powell didn't cut on his meeting, because my last video was prior to Powell's meeting, before he didn't cut, pricing on CME was about 30%, 33%. He would cut in September. It went almost to 90%. After he didn't cut, because the jobs revisions came out. The jobs numbers came out after Powell. And we learned that we only gained 19,000 jobs and 14,000 jobs after revising away 100,000 jobs in one case, more than 100,000 jobs. So that's what happened. So the labor market looks really, really weak. And we know this last print was supposed to be 100,000. It came in at 70 or 75,000. I forget the exact number, but that's unrevised. And the Biden appointee that had been putting out these numbers, Trump just fired her over it, which is funny. I saw a lot of people defending her. She was incompetent, okay? Under Joe Biden, she had the second largest revisions in U.S. history. Remember, overestimating jobs by almost 1 million jobs. Second largest revision in history. So she's out of there. They'll get somebody else in there, but it doesn't matter, because what's happening is the labor market's weakening, which severely lags. But people, especially Wall Street, sees this. They get scared. They sell. So let's talk about what the price is actually going to do. We look at our lunar cycle change. The actual cycle change is on the 9th, which is a Saturday. So I put this over here on the 11th. But when you look at the price action, guys, we'll look at this on an 8-hour chart. It's going to do something like this, right? It's either going to come up faster, start topping out if we get some type of double top. This could mark the top. If we retrace more during this week and do something like this and come down, this could mark a temporary bottom and come back up for a top. It's a pivot point, right? We don't know because it's developing. We're not there yet, but just be aware that Saturday coming up, this Saturday coming up actually, is a pivot point in the marketplace. So I'm looking at Friday and Monday for a pivot. Now, how to actually react and how to actually trade this, okay? If you didn't catch the top in the resistance zone, I know a lot of you did. I saw your comments on X. A lot of you are on options and things, but I know a lot of you did. But if you didn't catch this top, what you need to look for is the 3-wave move. What's the 3-wave move? The double top forms in 3 waves, okay? So we have the double top here. If this support holds going into tomorrow, see how we're right at fractal support? If this support holds over the next couple of days, look for a rebound. This is how double tops form. Where will you get resistance? Well, here's your support structure, right? Right there, which is what you're bouncing off of. Where will you get resistance? We'll look at fibs as well. But this could come up as high as 6,400, right in this range, right at the base of these fractal lows right here in this range. And if you look at this from Fibonacci, pull your fib down from your all-time high to this corrective low, you're looking at essentially a 618, 786 type retracement potentially in the marketplace. That's if the support holds. Again, you could go lower, but in the smaller time frames, you're heavily oversold. So what's the play? The play is if you are bearish, meaning you think this retracement has further to go, what you do is you don't short at the bottom, you wait for it to bounce up to resistance, 6,350, 6,381, 6,400, and you look for that top, right? Your top for your double top. That's what you look for. Then you would be short, or I would be short. Don't tell anybody else what to do, but then you have to break your neckline to get further decline, okay? And what's the reverse case? The reverse case is, let's just say this was just the pullback, right? Because a retracement, first of all, let's understand the terminology. Let me explain this again because I see people on YouTube do this wrong all the time. And I'm sure I do it wrong sometimes just because I'm talking fast, but a pullback, these things have meanings. When somebody says, oh, this is a pullback, that means 3 to 5%. Anything over 5% is a retracement. Retracements are typically 5% to 10%, right? That's your retracement. A pullback is 3 to 5%. All you have right now is a pullback. And trust me, at some point, the dip buyers are going to step in. You got a 3.5% retracement off the high, but it is a pullback in technical terms, okay? This can bounce, this can come down lower. Where could it come lower to? Well, maybe just look at your next support structure when you start squeezing everything in here. You can look at your highs over here from February, 6150, right in that range. It could come down lower before it comes back up. But ultimately, spike tops are very rare outside of exogenous events like tariff day, okay? So price moves in waves, and the typical topping pattern is a 3-wave move. Wave up, wave down, rebound. And if you're interested in being short in the market, you do it on the rebound, okay? This is the same for the spider, the Qs, they all function the same way. Markets all work the same way. Money flows through the markets the same way. But that's what you're looking at if you are interested to short. Meanwhile, if you're long, you really need to hold that support because if you come down another 100 points, this starts getting to be a deeper drop, and then you got to watch that wave back up again, okay? So let's go ahead and, actually, let me look at the indicators. Because like I said, look at the 8-hour time frame MFI. You're in the floor. And if you go down the 5-hour, 4-hour, 3-hour, 1 hour, you got floored on this sell-off. So this was a strong sell-off. It was steep. It was fast. You got floored. So at some point, it's going to base. ADX is negative. It's going to base and it's going to wave back up, okay? The Bitcoin video will be out after this, by the way. So be sure to watch that, because I'll be going over those patterns as well. Guys, if you want to trade these markets, by the way, I forgot to do this, check out SimpleFX. If you live outside the US, you can be a market maker's VIP. It is a CFD exchange. Everybody in Europe and the rest of the world knows what that is. It's a fantastic exchange. You can get up to a $5,000 instant bonus with our link only. I'll pin it in the comments. It'll be in X as well. So the spider, we had 642 earmarked. You got up to 639.46 now, or 639.85. Now, had the spider actually been able to trade during futures hours, you would have easily hit 642 because obviously the S&P made its high pre-market, spiders and ETF. So you didn't get there, but you got the sell-off. You can pull your fib the same way, go to a smaller time frame, pull it from your all-time high, pull it to your retracement low to see if it holds, because the spider, just zooming in here, guys, is doing the same exact thing. It fell right to fractal support right there, right? Just above 618, so about 620. At some point, the spider's going to bounce. This is a daily time frame. Spider's going to bounce and come back up. And if that bounce fails, that is your potential short if you think the market has more to give. And I think it does. I think it's coming down to basically 580, somewhere right around here, this fractal low. 575 would be my target. 580 is that resistance or that support just above it. But that's all I think you're getting, guys. I don't think you're getting really super deep retracements like most of YouTube thinks. Qs, same thing, guys. I'm looking for the Qs. About 505 is what I'm looking at on the Qs. And just watch for the rebound because you fell to fractal support. You fell to 551. You're at 553.88. The Qs, if this support holds, will wave back up, giving you an opportunity. If it holds on Fibonacci and you are bearish for a deeper retracement, giving you an opportunity to take a trade there. And obviously, if any of these markets take out their all-time highs, guys, I mean, that's bullish, right? I'm not anticipating that. I think we're getting a summer retracement. I just think it's going to be shallow, but around the levels of the historical norms, okay? So that's what I'm looking at in the markets. We look at NQ. This is NASDAQ futures. Same thing. We look at this zoomed out, guys. 13.6% is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the NQ to fall to 20,700. Just above that's the 382 at 21,000. Lines up beautiful for that fractal low there as well. Look at your historical retracements. July top, 17% retracement back in 24. July top, 12% retracement. So I'm looking for 13. We'll see if we get it because you have this cluster of candles on all of the indices, the S&P, your ETFs, NASDAQ. And so this is a higher level, right? So if it came back up, got a double top, you could stop somewhere in there, 20,500, 20,600. That'd be a very shallow retracement, not even coming to the 382. But it's possible because I have much higher level targets. I think the NQ is going to get to 27,000, 28,000. And I think there's a good shot it's going to do it this year with Bitcoin, just like in 2021 by November. That's what I'm looking at, guys. So I do not expect super deep retracements. These are totally normal. Anybody who trades with Fibonacci, you already know this. At 382 retracement is super bullish. 50%, that's like the rule of thumb retracement. 50% off a rally, rule of thumb. Again, bullish to continue the trend. 618, totally normal. We're looking at extremely shallow retracements, which in this case would just be about 12, 13% in the NASDAQ. Less than it did last year by 5%. So looking at the NASDAQ, again, I'll just show you this one more time, guys. Looking for the three-wave move. Wave up, wave down, fractal support. You see it right there. Wave back up, then be looking for that potential short. From a Fibonacci perspective, if you look at this, pull your fib down, 618's 20,436. That lines up beautiful, and you never know how strong this rebound is. It could just be here, right? Could do something like that and then come down, which is why I always emphasize looking at tops, understanding the cycle, understanding the timing of when to look for tops, because sometimes this can be easy to get on a trade. Other times it's much more difficult. If it comes down like this, bounces back up to the 618 or 786, finds resistance in this cluster of candles, and you are bearish for August at least, then consider that possibility of something you might want to trade. Let's move forward. If we look at Tesla, Tesla's holding up. I mean, the Tesla coil is in effect. Look at this thing coil. You are in this coil. You hit the baseline again. Will this resolve to the upside? Will it resolve to the downside? It's hard to imagine Tesla going up, obviously, if the markets are pulling down. But remember, if the markets rebound up for that potential double top, right? They rebound up, you could see Tesla try to come up. And if Tesla tries to come up, it needs to clear 367. You're at 302. If it doesn't clear 367, then this could just come right back down and fail. My support levels are 275, 250 bucks. Those are the support levels. This is the area we took our last long at, and this is the support levels. But if you can clear 375, you know, or 367. You got 426 above you. Interesting to see how that's playing out because, again, NASDAQ should wave back up at some point. And if it fails beneath resistance, it's going to have lower prices ahead, right? But if it punches through, which I don't anticipate, but if it punched through, you could see Tesla break out of this coil and come up to those higher level targets. That'd be interesting. Hood, we've been talking about this on the Discord, guys. I think it's a good one to track. Why? Because it's up 280% off the tariff low of April 7th. And it hit the 1618 beautifully at $100. I had 100 to 120. We got up to 113. And look what you're doing. See how you're struggling here? You tried to come back up. Actually, you rebounded all the way to 105. So I would really watch this 105 resistance right here on Hood if you want to see this stock, if you want to get some short-term gains, if it does indeed roll over. Remember, all of this is contingent on the S&P, the NASDAQ, staying below their all-time highs on this rebound, right? If they bounce up on this rebound and take out the all-time highs, well, you just made a new all-time high. That's not the top, clearly, right? I don't think that's what's going to happen. I've been looking for the summer top and drop. We have historical fractals the last 2 years saying that's what happened. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. But again, when you look at these beta plays, lots of beta here in Hood. So watch for some type of failure point, maybe in a smaller time frame. Start making a pattern here because 105, you're beneath it right now. You're at 99.90. You're right back at the 1618. So you're at a resistance point, but this could be a good one because at a bare minimum, when you look at retracements, even if you only came to the 382, right? This is what we were talking about in the Discord. Even if you only came to the 382, that's a 28% drawdown. And if you got a 50% retracement, 37% drawdown, that's fantastic. So see what happens on the rebound with the NASDAQ, with the S&P. If they push back up, see if Hood tries to come back up and get a macro double top type pattern, right? Macro double top type pattern, and then see this thing break down in the retracement. $80, dude, $81, $71. That would be my two targets if this plays out bearishly. Looking at MSTR, obviously, as you guys know, Bitcoin proxy, you're at 366. You got all the way up to the 200% to the upside, and now you sold off, and you are at key support, both from a Fibonacci perspective, right around the 382, which you just broke below, but you got a neckline right here. Right about 358. You see this? You have this disjointed double top, right? A false break double top. M pattern, just like that. If this thing breaks down more, watch 344, watch 317. That's your next two levels of support. I don't anticipate it going down too much. Well, I shouldn't say that because it has a lot of beta, but we got to cover the Bitcoin. We'll cover Bitcoin in the Bitcoin chart, guys. But this, I mean, these are the two key support levels I'd be looking at. And that's the key support level, 317, because this puts you at the top of the support structure, market structure. It also has this cluster of candles here as well. So you really want to hold 317, $300 in this retracement, right? And it still gives you the higher low perspective as well for the next move up with Bitcoin. If we look at Palantir, just finish it off, 162 is the target. You got right up against it, 161 and some change. You're at 154. The level to watch on Palantir is if you start taking out these fractals right here, this low of 145, 148, but basically 145. Watch Palantir to see what happens on the rebound. If the NASDAQ holds support and does start rebounding next week, watch and see if it stays below 162 because, again, guys, looking for topping patterns because just like with Hood, the 382 is at 124. You are at 154 right now, and the 50% retracement's 113. Both totally normal retracements. Just to pull this down, again, that's a 22% drop to 124. It is almost a 30% drop to 113. Lots of beta in Palantir, and I like that support level at the 382. I'm not expecting deep retracements across the board, guys, because you got a lot of candle clusters here. You have a fractal high here, so you got market structure support there as well. Well, this went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but there was a lot of information to cover. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe. Follow me at Market Canary on X. Check out my Bitcoin video. It's out next. Talk to you guys soon.